What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So what I want to do in today's afternoon edition is I went back through and I did hours and hours of just researching, previous stories and interviews and articles and videos and trying to really figure out what's happening, what am I missing, and find those holes in those different stories. So here's what we know. This is exactly what I'm going to discuss in today's video. First, many Democrats argue with President Biden, saying that you don't have the time, you don't have the luxury of waiting and wasting to find bipartisan support on an infrastructure package. And they say they must do something immediately. We also know one lawmaker earlier this week spoke about providing an additional stimulus check and doing exactly what former President Donald Trump tried to do in passing the $600 check and just buying the American people's votes. We also know progressives are now backing more moderate Democrats in forgiving student loan forgiveness of up to $50,000 per student. We also know facial recognition software is causing millions of Americans to get delayed unemployment checks simply because these unemployment offices in 21 states are actually using a certain facial recognition software. And so the American people aren't getting their checks in a timely manner simply because of this software. And I got more reports on that, and it explains a little bit of why this is something that we need to look into. And lastly, a new study suggests that there is a link between COVID and long-term loss of brain tissue. So I want to really address that as well, because one of the things I do here on this channel, I think I do a pretty good job of it. It's confusing for a lot of people, but I come on here and I provide an update and give you both sides to almost every single story. It's confusing to a lot of people, but I like to give you the whole picture and you can decide and take that information away with you. So let's get into the update. Let me break this down a little bit. So right now, many Democrats are urging President Biden to pretty much say that, okay, enough is enough. We're wasting too much time. We need to get on with and move forward with this infrastructure package. They say right now, if Democrats don't push for more, if they do not provide additional relief to the American people, then what we could potentially see is Democrats lose seats in both the House and the Senate during the upcoming midterm elections, which are over a year away. There's a good chance that experts currently say that Democrats could lose at least 2 seats in just the Senate alone if they don't push for additional relief. This means that even though Democrats could pass an infrastructure package, and maybe it's bipartisan, awesome. The problem is Democratic voters are going to look at that and be like, all right, this was a wasted opportunity. We passed a Republican proposal, a Republican-led bipartisan bill, and this is what we got. We didn't get any stimulus. We didn't get any free community college, no Medicare expansion, no stimulus checks. We didn't get any of this additional stuff. We didn't get universal basic income. We didn't lower the age of Medicare, right? Democratic voters are going to be like, hey, we missed this opportunity again. And so who do you think they're going to vote for? Or maybe they won't even vote. Then what happens? Well, Republicans would actually gain an upper hand. And that's exactly what progressives have been saying for months. But it finally seems, according to reports, that President Biden is going to listen to what progressives have been saying for the past few months, that we need to go big, we need to be bold, and we need to pass immediate relief. We will see. But what I can tell you right now is that yes, just here on this channel alone, just on this channel, I have seen a bunch of comments, not just today, but yesterday, throughout the week, even past weeks as well, where many people say, man, I wish I wouldn't have voted for President Biden. I wish I wouldn't have voted for Democrats. But that's the thing, is we don't know this before we vote. So President Biden promised all these things, Social Security boost of $200 per month, up to $10,000 in student loan forgiveness. He promised these things when he was running for president, but he hasn't discussed it much lately. So we will see. Also last week, and this is something that I thought was very interesting. I had to pull this out from, I don't even remember where I got this article from, but one lawmaker, okay, spoke, and he was very anonymous on this according to the report, but spoke about providing an additional stimulus check. Okay, an additional stimulus check, and doing exactly what former President Donald Trump tried to do when he said, let's give the American people $2,000 stimulus checks. And Nancy Pelosi said no. Nancy Pelosi, she was not going to let former President Donald Trump pass a bill which included a $2,000 stimulus check, not before the election. And then finally, it got passed at the end of December. I think it's December 27th or something like that. That is when this bill finally got passed, and it didn't include $2,000 stimulus checks. It just included one $600 stimulus check to the American people. Well, what we know is that this one lawmaker is saying that we need to do the exact same thing, that Democrats should do the exact same thing, because by doing this, experts believe this could work. Experts believe that this could work. However, and here's the issue, experts also say even though this has the potential to work, it can't hurt. The problem is this could hurt the economy in the meantime between now and the midterm elections, which are over a year away. So we will see. But what they do say is $2,000 per month stimulus checks will not happen. That's not going to happen. Democrats, especially moderates, are not pushing for that. That's not something that they want to see. What we know is that, according to a few reports, anywhere between $600 and $1,200 as a one-time payment is currently what is being discussed. That's what has the backing of more lawmakers at this time. $600 will get the most lawmakers, $1,200 will get the least, but according to reports, it's somewhere in that range. They say that this could pass, but it all comes down to how Democrats plan to move forward. Will it be a bipartisan bill and a budget reconciliation, which we could see potentially a bipartisan, let's say a $1.2 trillion bill, and then on top of that, maybe pass a $2 trillion social infrastructure package as well. If that's the case, there might be a small amount of stimulus checks included. However, experts are saying that if it's no bipartisan bill, it's just all through a budget reconciliation, a Democratic vote, then chances are we could see something, get closer to 3 to 4, possibly up to $6 trillion is what is currently being discussed. But they say if it's just a budget reconciliation only, it would have a higher chance of getting a stimulus check included. The only problem is Senator Joe Manchin might oppose this. So we gotta keep an eye on this. Again, this morning I told you how if it's a budget reconciliation of $6 trillion, there's a higher chance we see in a large stimulus package or a stimulus check included in this bill. However, and again, I try to give you both sides of every story, Joe Manchin is kind of that stickler. He might be the one that says no stimulus checks. We can't do that. We can't do it at this time. We don't need them. And that's where lawmakers are saying, okay, well, no stimulus checks is fine, but let's give the American people a survival check because they need that. So we'll see. We also know that progressives are currently backing the more moderate Democrats in Congress in forgiving up to $50,000 in student loan forgiveness. Pramila Jayapal, she is the chairwoman of the U.S. Progressive Caucus. She actually said this on Twitter today, and I quote, "Federal student loan payments have been deferred for the last 14 months. And somehow, the country hasn't imploded. Let's finally cancel at least $50,000 of student loan debt per borrower." Which, let's just break that down. She's saying that we have been deferring payments for the last 14 months, and somehow the country hasn't imploded. And it's true. The country is actually recovering during this span. And so according to the comments on Twitter, according to a few other responses on Twitter as well, some lawmakers do feel that, yes, that is true. And my guess is, and I didn't go look into this, but my guess is these few lawmakers are probably Democrats. They're probably not Republicans. So yes, it is true that the country hasn't imploded. The country is actually recovering, and whether it's due to the fact that these payments have been deferred, or in spite of them, Who knows, right? We just don't know. There's no reports or no studies at this time that details all of that. But as we get more information, I promise I'll fill you in on all those details as well. Now, although there's a lot of people pushing for student loan forgiveness, just all out forgiving up to $50,000 in student loan debt, here's something else we're hearing. According to a report, a handful of lawmakers say that if we cannot get student loan forgiveness included into the next infrastructure package, or President Biden is not able to do an executive order to forgive this, then the next best thing is to waive all interest in order to make paying off this debt much easier. Now, I can tell you right now, student debt is not extremely expensive. Okay, it's not extremely expensive. To some people, yes, it may be expensive. But when you are paying very little, it's not like 22% like a credit card. Okay, it's not like that, right? So just understand, you're going to pay very little for student debt interest, okay, on this debt. But just understand, this could help out many people to save, let's say, $10 every month. $15, $20 every single month. This could be a big thing. This could be very helpful for many people. That extra $20 could go to savings, right? $240 in a year. It's not a substantial amount of money, but it's a little bit. And it could be an additional stimulus for some people. Also, and this is a story that I thought was very interesting. I've been following this for the past few weeks. I've been hearing reports on this, but finally Yahoo came out with this, Axios, the Washington Post, CNN, Bloomberg actually has a small post on this as well. But what we're hearing is that facial recognition software is actually causing millions of people to not get unemployment benefits in a timely manner. What we are hearing is that a company called ID.me, okay, is used to, and it's used in like about 21 states, I believe. They are saying that right now they use this to verify people who want to get unemployment benefits. They say that many are going weeks, if not possibly a month or two, without benefits due to the problems with verifying their identity through this software. Now, this is one of the reasons why the federal government doesn't want to use facial recognition, because it does have many different issues, and they're subtle issues. Right now, studies have shown, and again, this software can be very unreliable in certain income situations, but studies have shown that according to the reports, the people that are being affected and impacted the most, who can't get through the software, usually have darker skin tones. These are blacks, Hispanics, right, Latinos. Anybody with a otherwise darker skin tone is having a more difficult time than somebody with a light complexion. Okay? That's just the way it is. Is it right? Absolutely not. But according to the CEO or the chief officer of ID.me, he says that this is not the case and skin tones don't have a factor in this. However, I can tell you right now, skin tones have to play an impact, have to play a role. They just have to, because somebody could have very similar facial features, facial hair, whatever it may be, but their skin could be different. Their skin tone could be different, and that could be the difference. Now, according to one report, somebody did do a darker picture versus a lighter picture. They started out with a dark picture when they filed for their unemployment benefits or did their verification. They did a very dark picture. You could barely see it. It was just kind of a little bit blurry, and it didn't go through. But then when they turned the lights on and had a better picture, same skin, same person, same features, just with lights on, it changed it dramatically and they got right through. So we'll see, but this is something that we need to keep an eye on, because facial recognition is used on many different things. You might have an iPhone, right, that uses facial recognition, right? This is important. This is very important to understand, and this is actually causing many people to miss out on benefits or have them delayed simply because of this software. Whether it's ID.me or something else, this is currently what's being discussed. Now, here's another big story. actually came out, I think it was on Thursday. Dr. Scott Gottlieb brought this up. But a new study suggests there is a link between COVID and long-term loss of brain tissue. Dr. Scott Gottlieb has said that studies suggest there could be long-term loss of brain tissue due to COVID. However, studies have proven that there to be a loss of brain tissue due to not due to the fact of the COVID vaccination. So let me just break this down. And I want to give you the full thing. I want to give you the full story, both sides. Right now, Dr. Scott Gottlieb says COVID, according to the study, does impact and affect long-term brain tissue and the loss of brain tissue. However, there aren't any studies yet, okay, not yet, that pinpoint, okay, that yes, the COVID vaccination will bring on long-term loss of brain tissue. We aren't seeing studies on that yet. However, just because they haven't happened yet doesn't mean they will not happen. Now, I've already told you guys before, I have received my vaccinations, both of them, okay? I've received both of them, got those months ago. Now, with this story, doesn't make me question whether or not I made the right choice. No, it doesn't. Okay, and this was my choice, my decision, my body, right? And it's the same thing for you. You don't want to get the vaccine? That's perfectly fine. Would I not hang out with you just because you don't have the vaccine? Absolutely not. Okay? It has no bearing on our friendship, on whether or not I go and spend time with you or not. So I just wanted to throw that out there that, just because a friend of mine doesn't get a vaccine doesn't mean I'm gonna stay away. Like, oh, don't come close to me. No, that's not the case. But the reason I bring this up is because when I saw this story and I thought, okay, I could potentially save myself, my kids now, and prevent them from potentially getting this virus. Or I could potentially suffer long-term loss of brain tissue in years, right? Maybe in decades, we don't know. But that is something that it was like, okay, which did I make the right decision? In my opinion, it's yes. Okay, that's just my opinion. But I just wanted to give you this. I want to bring this story to you because I know a lot of people are worried. Did I make the right decision, or am I making the right decision? Should I get the vaccine? I don't know. I honestly don't know. And this is up to you. This is your choice, your body, your decision. It's your life. But I wanted to bring this story to you because this is also something that we need to consider, right? There's new stories, new studies that come out every single day, and this should play a factor into it. Will I get long-term loss of brain tissue? Possibly. But does that mean I don't get the vaccine, or should I? Again, it's your choice. So I just wanted to bring this to you. I thought these stories, these reports are very interesting. Hopefully you guys have a wonderful rest of your Saturday. Sorry if I kind of bursted your bubble or made you think a little bit about the COVID vaccinations and everything in between. But I just want to, again, I try to always give you both sides to every story. So again, hopefully you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, wonderful rest of your weekend as well. Consider subscribing if you want to stay updated on everything that's going on. Also, if you could hit that like button, it really does help out the channel. Again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.